Hey, everybody. How are you doing on this Wednesday? Hey, this is Kisa, Coach K, and I welcome you in tonight to our daily talks on dating and relationships. I'm so glad that you are here and able to tune in, whether you're joining us live or catching the replay. So glad that you're able to tune in. And I'm so looking forward to sharing the information that I have with you tonight. We were just a little bit tardy this evening because in my other life, everyone, okay, I'm a life coach. I am a 30-year broadcast veteran, right? But that is certainly not all that I do. I am also an Alabama maker, and this is my company, allshaynaturals.com. So we were out delivering this evening, and I just want to say, we only have a few days left in the summer season. So if you, whether you're a woman, whether you're a male, whether you just want to give us a try and are curious, it is a great way to do so, to try us at All Shay Naturals. Allshaynaturals.com, 30% off with the code SUMMER before we swipe it down, because as we hit a new season, that discount is coming down. And what you should also know, as we hit a new season, we've got some announcements that we're going to make too, because we are expanding and we are reconfiguring and we are doing some new things with All Shay Naturals and even offering some new products. So you can go on there and get you some product, try us out for a 30% off discount, which is pretty doggone good. That means you get a third off of the price. And if you're local, we will deliver. If you're not, we will ship it to you. It's not a problem. Look, we are not new to this. We are true to this, my friends. We've been in business since 2009. 2009, and we're getting ready to expand. So again, I'm Kisa, Coach K. That's part of our brand as well, allshaynaturals.com, luxury body butters and sugar scrubs. But come on in the room. And remember, we never ask you for any money unless you want to sow into us. We're certainly not going to stop that as well. I can give you my Cash App for that because I want people to support. But you support us by liking, sharing, and commenting. When you like, share, and comment on the broadcast, that is what helps us, okay, to share the information with more people. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and move through this whole dispensation of conversation tonight, right? And we're talking about dating and relationships tonight. And in particular, we're talking about relationship red flags. Let me bring it back out here, and let me just kind of bring it in, okay? Let me turn the music down and all of that great stuff. I have to get to all my buttons, y'all. All right, let's have some conversation this evening. Talking about relationship and dating red flags. If you missed the show yesterday, we really got into a discussion on Tuesday's show about really one of the major hallmarks of a relationship red flag, which is controlling behavior. Okay. We started off with controlling behavior. This evening, we get ready to go to round two. We're discussing in dating and relationships, laying a foundation. Okay. As we get ready to go into another season, what in the world does a dating relationship red flag look like? I'm glad you asked. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm a word person, so I like to start with the very basics. So, what are red flags? Why don't we start by defining what exactly red flags are? Okay, no problem. Here we go. Let's talk about relationship red flags and what they look like, my friends. I think I can do a better job because you cannot see that. So let me see if I can. There we go. Make that a little bit smaller so you can actually see it. I'm going to read this. Dating abuse can take many forms. And listen, and this is according to the site Room to Be Safe. Room to Be Safe. I like to accredit all my information. But dating abuse, when you talk about relationship red flags can lead to abuse. So rather than having to walk the walk all the way down and actually experience abuse, no, a better thing would be to recognize it early on and to be able to do something about it. Now, I always want to say, if we're talking about abuse. And for those of you who are in abuse, who are suffering some things which you're concerned about your safety or whatever, let me go ahead and put this information on the screen as well, because we want you to recognize it. Whoa, I want to make sure I didn't get rid of it. There we go. Here we go. National Domestic Abuse Hotline. You can text 88788, or you can call 1-800-799-7233. I talk about dating and relationships, and I want to make sure I cover all my bases, because I do understand that people are in challenging situations. If you cannot call, perhaps you can text. If you don't have a family member or a friend who can help you, and for whatever reason, listen, I ask the Lord what I need to say before I come on these broadcasts. And a lot of these broadcasts that I come on, and I'm talking about dating and relationship red flags, this is an area that keeps coming up, that he's showing me. Because a lot of time abuse, let me take my glasses off here and let me get back to red flags in just a minute. And I want to talk to you. Let me talk to you. A lot of times people are smiling. A lot of times people are hiding in plain sight. Abusers are hiding in plain sight. They're dressing, they look good, they look the part, and people don't know what's going on behind closed doors. They don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. That's why it's so important for you to be the great friend, to be the great family member, and put personal differences aside and talk to people and check on your strong people. Check on them, because sometimes people are being abused. And listen, I'm not always talking about physical abuse. Sometimes the abuse is so insidious. That means it's so evil and so conniving. People are being emotionally and psychologically abused. Okay? So whether you are the person who is receiving abuse, or whether you suspect someone is receiving abuse, check on them. Even if the checking on, you may have to be a little swift in how you do it, taking to lunch and all that great stuff. But I want to talk to you. I have to put that here, okay? Because there's some people who are dealing with some things that other people would never know. And abuse can cover many forms. Somebody doesn't have to be physically punching you or beating on you to be abusing you. There's some things mentally, emotionally, psychologically that people can do, which will beat you down, perhaps even more so, okay? Perhaps even more so, because people have a tendency to hide that. So let me just say that. And if you're watching, and just, keep your eyes and ears open, okay? Because as we go into the holiday season too, that can tend to kick up as people become frustrated and they're at holiday gatherings and different things like that. So just want you to know, whether you're in that situation or whether you know someone, okay? I always feel compelled, and am always just sort of checked to just say, there is help, and help is available. Don't be afraid to reach out to help. If you have no family members or friends, there is the number that I will keep on the screen. So with that in mind, here we go. Let's talk about relationship red flags, okay? What do they look like as a general rule? Before I dive into a very specific one, dating abuse, it can take many forms, okay? According to this site, Room to Be Safe. What stays the same, though, is that the abuse almost always reoccurs. And listen at this, it gets worse if it is not addressed. See, here's the interesting thing about relationships. This is why you have to deal with it early on. Even though you can sometimes be in that state of just a dopamine high, because he's so fine and he's showing you some attention. She's so fine and she's showing you some attention. But listen, abuse takes many forms. There are some women who are assassins with their tongues. You understand? There are women who are assassins. So I'm not just talking to men, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not just talking to men. I'm talking to the women folk and the men folk who are abusers. But listen, as I read it, hope that you're able to see it. My screen is doing something a little interesting, but nevertheless, we're going to keep on moving. But it says it has to be addressed. So it's important to recognize it. And granted, I'm not going to get on here and victim blame, nor will I victim shame. because I recognize that in some things we don't recognize that it's abuse early on, like love bombing, someone giving you all of these compliments early on, telling you how beautiful and how wonderful you are. That could be love bombing, and they're doing it to cause you to lower your guard and to trust them so they can enter in closer and closer, and they overwhelm you, overwhelm you, overwhelm you, overwhelm you, overwhelm you so quickly. And so by the time you're just, your guard is down and you're just like, oh my gosh, I need more of this, and I, where have you been all my life? And by the time they get in and you're connected, then the abuser has your trust, and they're now, you're going to see the real person. The representative then steps back, and then the real person comes to the forefront, and the real person is nothing like the representative. We're talking about red flags in relationships, love bombing. Maybe that should be one of mine as well, but that falls under that narcissistic behavior. It's a trait of narcissistic behavior. And just because someone does that doesn't mean they're a narcissist. No, but it is a trait of narcissistic behavior, which is highly selfish, highly self-interested behavior, in which people who are narcissists have a more grandiose thought of themselves than anybody else. And it has a, wow, a track record of abusive behavior. If you're dealing with that type, that's for another teaching. All you have to do is scroll my page, just scroll up, scroll up. You'll find plenty of teachings on that. Okay. But red flags of abuse, let's look at some behaviors specifically. So we talk about the fact that it takes time to recognize, and it's important to deal with it up front. It's important to have boundaries up front. Okay, this is what I won't tolerate. Someone yells at you. Okay, no, I'm not going to tolerate that. That's not how I communicate. Okay, well, Kisa, what if they continue to do it? But I really like him, and financially he's set, he's giving me this. No, you have to recognize that that is abuse. Abuse. And it's not getting any better. If they're doing this and they're just meeting you, generally it's going to get worse over time because people become more relaxed. Okay. So red flags of abuse, not being allowed to make decisions or being afraid to make decisions for yourself. Do you have someone who's always trying to make decisions for you? Oh, you think it's cute. You sit down and, you've gone to the restroom, you come to the restaurant and you say, oh, you think it's cute because you're saying, I've already, you go to the restroom, you come back and I went ahead and ordered for you. How do you know what I want? I went on a date with a guy who did that with me years ago. I never went on another date with him. one date. And I went ahead and ordered something for you. How do you know what I want? You didn't ask me. This is your first date with me. We're talking about signs of abusive behavior. It doesn't just come out of nowhere, ladies and gentlemen. Feeling afraid of your partner or intimidated by them, whether you think they're going to yell at you or scold you, or worse, physically abuse you. Being embarrassed, put down, ashamed, or guilty. Not having your thoughts or wishes or your personal space respected. You want to go out to go enjoy drinks with the girls sometimes, but your partner, oh, no, 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 no. They're going to make you feel bad about that. Why do you want to go out with them? I mean, I'm here. Now, keep in mind, they can do what they want to do, but they want to stop you from doing some things, okay? All of this are red flags in relationships, red flags that you need to be on guard against. Y'all that have a comment. Hey, Talisha, check on your folks. Yes, ma'am. Hey, sweetheart, I didn't see you. I'm flipping between screens here. I like to kind of work this technology. What else? Losing your friends. You start off, you're living your best life as a single woman with your friends, living your best life. We're talking about red flags in relationships, red flags, and specifically one behavior I'm getting to, but I'm just giving you a list, a laundry list of things to look out for. Okay. Laundry list. Losing your friends, not feeling that you can go out and hang out with your friends. You were living your best life, going to your parties and your events and hanging out with your girls and traveling with your girls, and then you get in this relationship and you get your legs knocked out from under you, not literally, but he doesn't want you to go and do any of that anymore because he wants all the focus on him. She wants all the focus on her. Some of those are some telltale signs of emotional abuse. You are an individual who can make individual choices, who has a right to have your separate life. You had it before, Why would I get rid of my friends now that you're here? You have to be careful of that behavior because abusers thrive on making you focus on them as your only source for everything. They want you to make them your everything. Here, and listen at this, changing your behavior because of your partner's jealousy. Oh boy, boy, boy. Feeling isolated here in the bottom right hand corner here, feeling isolated or alone, red flag on the play. You're at home alone, you don't go out with anybody, you don't do anything because you thought that's what they wanted, but they're out, they're living their best life and they got you at home. So they're out in the streets doing what they want and they come home to a hot cooked meal and to a woman or a man at the house every night just waiting on them. Like, who you couldn't be any better. But let me say this, and it's going to be a tough statement for me to make. Tough statement. That's not the behavior of a partner. That's the behavior of a maid or a house sitter. That's tough. That's tough. And Kisa's saying it because I love you. That's tough. But that's not the behavior of a partner. A partner who loves you wants to spend time with you, not use you or abuse you. All right, and we're going to work our way up. Feeling a nervous or sick feeling. Take a look at this. A nervous or sick feeling in your stomach when your dating partner is irritated, frustrated, or angry. I remember a guy who, in the first couple of months, once upon a time, in my previous dating life, not now, but in my previous dating life, I remember a guy, he had become irritated with me. I was running behind to bring him something. And it was obvious he was irritated with me. And all I can tell you is I just felt so uncomfortable because I disappointed him. Needless to say, I don't talk to that gentleman anymore. Because see, what I found is it's better to let those people go. It's better to let that go than trying to deal with that. Because if we're not even dating and I'm feeling this way because I've disappointed you or I haven't done something that you liked or I'm getting a vibe because we can feel people's energy. We can sense people's energy. So if I'm feeling this way, it's a reason for it. It's a reason for it. And sure enough, he proved it out that he had a few things going on that were just not tolerable. So at that point, see, the reason for a red flag is not necessarily for you to stop. It's not necessarily for you to abort mission or abort the relationship. What it is for is to cause you to stop, to step back, and to pause and to reevaluate. Okay, recalibrate. Okay, let me look at this. Okay, and what I did, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I did. What I did in that situation was I said, okay, let me kind of step back. I don't like how I felt there. I felt really wrong for making that mistake. I felt really, it's hard for me to describe, but this one right here, feeling a nervous or sick feeling in your stomach when your dating partner is irritated, frustrated, or angry. Yeah, I felt that. And again, it was enough to say, let's back up and let's really watch him. And as I told you, it proved out that this guy had a host of issues, had a host of issues. Nothing ever went any farther. But oftentimes, your heart knows. And let me tell you something. Your heart, you're feeling anxious around people. There are times that your body will physically, listen to me now. Listen to me. This will help somebody, and maybe you can help someone. When something is off with people, you will physically feel some things, irritated, nervous, anxious. You know what I mean? When people are agitated with you, you'll physically feel some things. Don't ignore that feeling. Don't ignore it. Even if it's with women, I've been around women and everything just kind of seems okay. They're talking this talk, they're blah, blah, blah. And it just, something about them, I cannot put my finger on it. But I remember thinking about this one particular female who I've done a few business things with her, but she's inviting me to other things, to fellowship with her. And I just remember telling the Lord, I said, Lord, I can't put my finger on it. But there's something about her. I'm not going to do any business without her outside of being in a very public business setting, we can do no personal things. I can't tell you what that thing is, but there's something that's on the inside of my heart that says, do not go any further. If I can tell you anything, do not ignore that. Do not ignore that. Feeling a pound, listen at this. Feeling a pounding or dating, let's see if I can enlarge that. Feeling a pounding or fluttering in your chest when your dating partner isn't happy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Feeling a pounding or fluttering, because remember, we're talking about red flags of abuse. Remember, there are times that your body will know and will be giving you signs. You feeling anxious? There's some people who deal with anxiety for no other reason that they're in a relationship with a wrong person, or there's a person in their circle who's causing that. Maybe that you a person who is not meant to be in your inner circle. They may be in your inner circle, your interaction with them. It produces anxiety. Listen to this again, feeling a pounding or fluttering in your chest. If I'm feeling a pounding or fluttering in my chest, we're talking about red flags of dating, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm feeling a pounding or fluttering in my chest as a result of someone, it's time for me to take note of that. We're talking about relationship red flags. And I'm not just talking about, listen at this. I'm not just talking about dating relationships. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Let me give you two examples of things that are real life and that are scary. And we need to take note because this is a new day. There's this story, maybe you've heard this story of this gentleman who was dating a lady in the church. Can't tell you his name, but was dating this lady in the church, supposedly one of the fivefold ministry gifts. And and was abusing this young lady's son, and abused him to the point, beat him to the point to where he died. Beat him, I believe, with some wood. Have you all heard of that story? Beat him to that point. She's in a dating relationship with him. He's keeping her son. She's thinking he's showing him how to work out. And that baby didn't have the gumption or the wherewithal to tell his mama that this man is abusing me. But my question, I would have a lot of questions for her. How long did you know this gentleman? Because see, sometimes the abuse doesn't happen to you. Sometimes it happens to your daughters. Sometimes it happens to your son when you're yoked up with a person who has a wrong spirit and we don't know them long enough. And it doesn't matter. Okay, unpopular statement. It doesn't matter if they're in the church. That's sometimes where it hides. It doesn't matter if they're in the church. Y'all, we gotta be as harmless as doves, but we need to be as wise as serpents. This is a new day. Yeah, things happened back in the day, but this is a new day. That man beat that little 6-year-old boy. It's hard for me to even think about that. Beat him to death. Can you imagine someone taking a piece of wood and whamming on your skin? A piece of wood, y'all, a piece of wood, let alone a little 6-year-old boy. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done with it. That wasn't the only thing he did with it. You can Google this story. It wasn't the only thing he did. He took hydrogen peroxide, and then poured it on the little boy. That is abuse. It didn't happen to the lady, but it happened to her son. We need to know who we're dating and who we're marrying. Kisa included. What are some other signs? Noticing that your dating partner has very traditional, stereotypical beliefs about gender roles. Okay. You're a woman. And so as a woman, you're supposed to cook, you're supposed to clean, but I work also. It doesn't matter. I need you in the kitchen every day. I need you cooking. I need you cleaning. I need you washing clothes. But I'm also out here working and helping to contribute to the household. It doesn't matter. You're the woman. You do stuff inside the house. You raise the kids. I'm the man. I can do whatever. Be careful when a person tries to put you in a box and she's very traditional. This is how it has to be. This is how it had you better stay in your role. Be careful. Be careful about that. You better stay in your role. Your role is to take care of the house. Your role is to cook. Your role is to clean. We're talking about relationship red flags. Unpopular as it may be. That's why I have the National Domestic Abuse Hotline below. You can text 88788. There's also a toll-free number, but if you can't call, you can text. This is real in 2024. Okay? This is real. Being afraid to express your feelings of anger. We're talking about relationship red flags. How's your relationship? How's your dating relationship? Have you noticed with your partner that you're afraid to express your own feelings of anger? So you just hold it in. You're afraid that if you express your anger, they may do something to you. Are you dealing with anyone like that? Are you dealing with a woman like that? Are you dealing with a man like that? You're afraid. Here we are, being afraid to express your own feelings of anger. If so, stop, take note, have a conversation, be uncomfortable, but don't let it go. Don't let it go. Don't ignore it. Don't go past it. What happens when in the natural, when you speed past a red light? There's sometimes you're going to be okay. But there are other times when that either a stop sign or either a red light, if you go through a red light, if you go through a stop sign, there's sometimes you're going to make it out okay. But if you keep doing it, there could be travesty laying ahead. The same principle applies in relationships. When you see it, acknowledge it, and deal with it. What's another red flag? Feeling manipulated or controlled. You don't have a thought about anything. You can't do anything. You feel controlled. You feel like you're being manipulated. Talking about relationship red flags. And I think this one goes without saying. Has anyone threatened you in any way? And let me tell you how insidious and how crafty threats are. Threats can be as simple as not even someone saying anything. They don't have to say a thing. A threat can be someone placing a gun on the table, letting you know that they have a gun, going out with you and making sure that you see their gun. So that backs you down, letting you know what they do to people who cross you. We're talking about being threatened in relationships, letting you know that, well, this is what, this is what I did to so-and-so. I remember one of my friends, I was listening to him and he was talking about the stuff he would do, the stuff he would do and, being like almost like a gangster, and I guess he thought that was exciting to me. And I'm thinking to myself, this is about the most ridiculous thing that I heard. I'm peace loving. I don't need no drama, sir. So you're telling me about you have a friend who's a gangster and this is what he did and this is what he carries and this is what happened. You telling me all these stories. No, people are telling you those stories for a reason. And when they tell you that, believe them, believe that there are issues, because my question is, why in the world would you be maintaining a relationship with someone like that? Now, true, we have childhood friends and we have childhood friends that we love. We have family members who we love and we all know that we all know such and such has a problem. We all know such and such has gone that way. And he hangs out with the crew that is not the best in life. We all know that. There's no judgment there. But I'm just saying, we get choices as adults. We get choices. We can choose to go down path A, which is the path of peace, or we can go down path B, which is the path of trouble. The choice belongs to you and I. And just as so in friendships and such, oh my gosh, I've already been on here 30 minutes. That's so hard to believe, y'all. Looking at that diagram, my goodness. But just as we get to choose in our relationships, we also get to choose that in our romantic relationships. The choice belongs to you. My encouragement, make the right choice. Relationship red flags exist for a reason. I don't want to ruin what you have going with your boo. I don't want to ruin this beautiful relationship. And, it's already a shortage out there that people say. I don't believe in the shortage. I don't believe in it. I think that's just talk that causes us to act a certain way and to accept certain things. I believe in God. I don't believe in the shortage. I don't put my faith in that. I don't put my faith in circumstances. God says to have faith in him. That's where I choose to put my faith in. Not even in a man, not even in a person who says that they've seen Jesus and that they hang out with Jesus all the time. That's fine. I hang out with him too. So I know him. So I'm still going to have to see your fruit, sir. I'm going to have to see your fruit, ma'am. By your fruit, you will know them. By their actions, by their deeds, I will know them. Relationship red flags. I went through the list. Okay. I'm not going to pull it back up. You're feeling awkward. You're feeling silenced. Your body gives you signs when you're around them that show you it's very uncomfortable to be around them. Pay attention. You're seeing those things for a reason. Pay attention. Yesterday, I talked about controlling behavior. That was pretty good as well, because there's some people who are just controllers financially, controllers in your thought process, controllers, and they've just got to have their hands on everything and try to tell you. I deal sometimes with people like that. I have a pretty nice nature, and sometimes I deal with people who try to tell you, don't do that, don't say that, don't. And it's like, no, you're not going to dump me. You can say, hey, have you considered this other option? But I'm 52 years old. I'm not 5 years old. You're not 5 years old. You don't need anybody telling you don't, blah, 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 unless it's life or death. That's different. But in everyday decisions, people want to tell you what you don't and should and could. No. We're grown over here. Okay? You can have a conversation. You can make some suggestions. You can tell me why you don't believe it's in my best interest, but this don't, and I wouldn't do that yeah, but you're not me. You're not me. DM, don't ignore red flags by being blindly in lust, because DM, a lot of times that's what it is. Lust. The flesh is pressing us, man. That flesh is pressing us. Go on, get married. Go on, get married, man. Don't pay that any attention. You lonely. You'll be all right with that. All you have to do is you'll be fine. When you start cooking him a good meal and all that kind of stuff, he'll change. She'll change. Okay. Red flags effectively tell you the character of the person you're dealing with. Bingo. Bingo. Effectively tell us, don't they, DM? Effectively. Bingo. So that's what I got for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Relationship red flags. Okay? Went through a list of them. If you're joining by the replay, let me know. And remember, what you can do for us, you can like, you can share, and you can comment on the broadcast. That's how you show love and support for us, okay? So I'm Kisa, I'm Coach K, and if you need any sort of life coaching, or you just kind of want to check me out and just kind of see what I'm all about, go to the website, KisaSharp.com/life-coaching. So love you. I so hope you have a wonderful night. I cannot believe it's already been 35 minutes I've been on here. I'm actually enjoying this. So anyway, you all have a great night. Oh, and remember, so there are some customers who are taking advantage of All Shea Naturals with 30% off, y'all. 1/3 off the price. If you're local, we deliver. If you're out of town, we will mail to you. Okay. I'm Kisa, Coach K, allsheanaturals.com, one of our sites. And by the way, stay tuned for some expanded deals and different things like that. So stay tuned for some announcements and more partnerships, more stores. Stay tuned for that. And also KisaSharp.com life coaching if you want to tune in for our life coaching. And remember, at allsheanaturals.com, where we have our sugar scrubs and shea butters, you can get 30% off with code SUMMER. They're products for men and they're products for women too. And we're getting ready to turn over a whole new crop of products and introduce new fragrances and all that kind of stuff. Ooh la la. So stay tuned. Pay attention. Go ahead and grab your discount. Fall is coming up on September 22nd. And when fall comes up, the discount comes down. All right. Red flags in relationships will continue tomorrow night. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. Much love, my friends. Much love.